There we go. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to deliver you one last topic that we need to know before I do our CAT, whenever that may be, sometime next term, I'm guessing. And that is to look at how to write our rhythms when we dictate rhythms onto the stave directly. Before we do that, let's quickly revise some of our note values that we've learned in recent weeks. Who can tell me in English what this note is called? Big voice for the camera.
Crotchet.
Crotchet, thank you, Emma. Good. And what do we call it in rhythm syllables? Someone else? Big voice, Jay. Tar. Cool. Okay, what's this one called? Quaver. Cool. And how many? We've got 2 quavers. And when we say them using rhythm syllables, they are TT. Excellent. And then these ones grouped in 4s were called semi-quavers. Excellent. And someone else, big voice, maybe go for it. Gordon, what are these called with rhythm syllables?
Ticka.
Excellent. Only 4 of them. Ticka. Excellent. These ones aren't joined at the bottom, but they've got 2 flags. What are they?
Half of the ticka.
Let's think it through.
They're still semi-quavers.
Spot on. Thank you. Yeah. So these are still semi-quavers. They're just written slightly differently with separate flags. It's a bit like someone's come along with a little knife and gone, and they've sprung up from the beams like that. And then, therefore, these ones with single flags. Quavers, yeah. So TTs. One last note we haven't seen very often, but it's the 2-count note, the minim, 2 for the syllable. So if I was to say this rhythm, it would be 1, 2, 3. Ta, ti, ti, ticka, 2. Ti, ti, ta, ticka, ta. Ticka, ti, ticka, ta. Ti, ti, ta. Let's say that together. 1, 2, 3. Ta. Ti, ticka, 2. Ti, ta, ticka, ta. Ticka, ticka, ta. Ti, ta. And one more time, take our hands out and let's clap this rhythm. Nice and loud. 1, 2, 3. Ta, ti, ticka, 2. Ti, ta, ticka, ta. Let's try that one more time. I'll tap it on the board so you've got more of a visual representation. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Cool. Nick, did you have a message out for the class? Just going to speak to someone. Okay. So we are now going to learn the final way that you'll dictate rhythms. This is the way that I'll encourage you to use for the rest of your learning in Year 11 and 12. And it's called rhythmic shorthand. Up till now, when we've done these questions, we've just marked things off as we've heard them, sort of like so. Like if we heard a tar, we go tar, ti, ticka, which is a great way to get started with shorthand, but it's not complex enough for when we get to the stage of doing proper rhythmic dictations in Year 11 and 12. And that's where we get into what's called rhythmic shorthand. So I am, for the purposes of today, just going to read from the textbook so that everyone following on from home can read and follow with us. So, rhythmic shorthand. As the rhythms in rhythmic dictations become more complex, it will help if you have a method of writing the rhythm that you hear in the quickest way possible, i.e. a rhythmic shorthand. There are many different versions of rhythmic shorthand. The one taught here is the one you should use until you are comfortable with it. Then begin altering it to suit your own method of rhythmic dictation. This version of rhythmic shorthand uses vertical strokes placed at even intervals above each bar. These strokes represent the beat. The basis for this shorthand is that you write where you hear the sounds. For example, if you hear one sound on a beat, crotchets, you would mark the beat stroke with 1 line. If you heard 2 sounds on a beat, quavers, you would mark the beat stroke with 2 lines. And if you heard 4 sounds on a beat, semiquavers, you would mark the beat stroke with 4 lines. The longer notes, minims, dotted minims, etc., would have 1 line on the beat stroke you heard at the note begin on, and then no more lines on the beat strokes for the duration of the note. For example, a minim would have one line on the first beat stroke and no line on the second beat stroke as the note is held across this beat. Here is a rhythm which has been written out in rhythmic shorthand for you to study. Please spend a few moments looking over this rhythm while I just get some books handed out to the students who've arrived. So, can I remind you, Nigel, that we are recording this lesson. You're being recorded right now. This will be open to the school public. No, I'm not going to. You need to learn. You need to focus and listen in this class. I'm sorry. Okay. There's someone got a book to him yet that's not there. There you go. Welcome. Cool. Anyone else arrived since I did the roll? No. Cool. Okay, so you can see here that where we've got a rhythm like this, ti, ti, tika, tika, ta, ta, ti, ti, ta, tu, you can see that on each of the beat lines that's been placed above the question, the author of the textbook has marked off 2 strokes if there was a TT, 4 strokes if there was a tika tika, and so on. 2 strokes for TT, 1 stroke for tar. We are on page 13. So here's an example of how shorthand would work. The idea being, as a question is played to you, you would actually mark off how many sounds you hear on each beat. It's kind of similar to the method we've already used, where we had beat lines, but instead it's being done, I guess, with lines and then horizontal strokes to mark off the sound. This will become more obvious how it works as I give you a demonstration in a minute. But so far, are there any questions about how this works? Here's another example where they've put some shorthand onto the stave. So let's have a look at it. So, for example, if there's 2 lines put onto a beat line here, what do you think it might be indicating? What note values do you think 2 lines on a stroke mean? How many? 2 quavers, yeah, so the pair of quavers. What about the single stroke?
There's 4.
A crotchet, yeah, like that one. And therefore, where we've got a 4 here, that must be indicating... What are these called? Semiquavers, you've got it, yeah. So here is an example where the shorthand has been done for you, and in a moment we're going to take out our pens and pencils, preferably pencils, and actually convert this into notation. On our next exercise, I'll actually show you how to dictate a rhythm as we go. But right now, we're going to work backwards and take the shorthand that's given and convert that into notes. So I can come around and help you right now.
This is really messy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you good. So, pens and pencils, you two?
I've got one too.
You have to sit there quietly because I'm not sharing pens today due to those situations.
I'm gonna get some grand bars.
Thank you. Yes. I'll just put it exactly as it's shown there. You can do it. Yep, makes sense. So basically looking at the shorthand here and using these as a guide. No, I haven't stopped the recording. Yeah, that's the choice.
So you're gonna be cutting out parts here. So you're gonna kind of do fluffy.
Right, those. Yeah, so TT.
Yeah, I don't know. This is your voice.
Cool. I'll give you some advice on that drawing. Yeah, the answer's correct, and I'll help you get it. Yeah, you're on the right track. Ooh, good. Yep, so what we're doing here now, we're looking at the shorthand and converting it into notes.
Mine's good. Still, really.
Cool. Have we got that? Make sense? Cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're all on the right track. Eyes this way, let's have a look. So, we saw here that there was 2 strokes on the beat line here, and we worked out that that is the equivalent of the pair of quavers. Now, we're at the stage where, for many of you, writing notes is something that's quite new. How do we do this neatly? I would recommend following this process each time. And that would be, say for a pair of quavers, do the note heads first. Get them neatly on. And then do the stems next. Make sure they're the same length, about that long. And then finally, the beam at the bottom. And if you do that each time in that order, you'll find that it's quite neat most of the time. Let's try the next one. So what note value was a single stroke? Crotchet. Cool. So again, note head and stem. Is that the same? Yep. What about here?
So one without any lines across it is a
Yeah. So let's say, what do you reckon might go here? You can put a rest there. Great. If it's silent, what do we then do here? Yeah. Cool. Excellent. And 4? Semiquavers. Now these are the ones that are often the hardest to write because there's a lot more in them. First things first, I'd go 4 note heads, 4 stems, and this is where it's really important to get it right. They are not semiquavers unless there are 2 beams at the bottom. Cool? And then we'll carry on with the rest. So 1 sound, 1 sound, 2 sounds, and so on. Excellent. Cool, let's come around and see how you're going, and then we'll get on to the next page. Yep, that's not much. Keep on going. Yep. Good. Yep. Make sure they're all coloured in, otherwise they're all technically counts that up. Okay, cool. Yep. Good. Everybody, if you two have not come prepared with pencils and pens, I expect you to remain silent because we're recording this lesson and I don't want everyone by people talking all the time. Excellent. Good work for everyone who's done that. So this is where we are getting to the stage now where we will be dictating a rhythm using this methodology. So, how does it work? Firstly, you'll notice that we've got stave lines for the first time for a rhythmic dictation. So the expectation is your final answer will be notes on the stave. Shorthand on its own, in whichever method you've used, is no longer acceptable. You'll see here that we've got a question in the time of 2/4. What does that mean? Two thingies per, what was it? Two beats per bar. And that is why you can see that the author of the textbook has given you 2 beat lines per bar. And they are the lines onto which we will shorthand a rhythm. Now, before we do anything in the book, I'm actually going to model to you how this could work with another question. So please don't write what I'm about to do in your books. Here's an example of how this could work. So firstly, if I was to tap a rhythm, you'll notice as I was doing that, you might not have noticed, I was tapping my foot in time. That's really important because you want to know which beat we're up to. This is all about real-time dictation. You're actually trying to mark off what you hear as it's played. So for example, if I was to get a beat going and play a question, this is how it might work. And can I see myself in the screen there? Yeah, I'll go across to the side a bit. So if I was to do this, if this was like, what would that have been? How much easier is it to write off lines like that than me try and scribble notes as I go? It's not, you're not going to get it written out, are you? So that's why we're using this shorthand. But if you can hear how many sounds are on each beat and just mark them off, preferably in time as you hear it, this is a really easy way to get rhythms written down. As you go into year 11 and 12, the rhythms get more complicated. In fact, the rhythms will get more complicated by the end of this semester. This shorthand pattern has little dashes set up in combinations for each individual pattern that you'll experience. So you'll find that this system will be very, very helpful in dictating some rhythms. I think we need to get straight into having a go at this. So can you all take your pencils out, have them in your hands? Yep. I'm going to play you a rhythm pretty slowly. And for this first one, I'll model it with you, giving you bits of the answer as we go through each playing. And hopefully by the end of this example, you'll all be fully understanding of how this system works. So let me find this for you. Okay, here we go. I'm going to play you a rhythm that fits in with this question. Cool. So I've got to find it in my book, sorry. Where was it? Sorry? Got it. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get you all to tap your feet in time with the beat now. So I'm going to set a beat here. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you all tap your feet softly in time with that? Not too loudly, but just softly in time. In a moment, I'm going to, and I think we might slow it down a little bit actually. Let's slow down to 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. As we go through on this occasion, I don't want you to write anything down, but with your pencil, tap each beat line as we go, moving from left to right across the page. Okay? As I play the rhythm, you might already start making mental note though of which ones were 1s, 2s or 4s. I can tell you now there won't be any rests. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Many of you are probably going, oh yeah, I heard quite a few ticker tickers, the fast ones. Yeah? So, you're already ready to hear them. You would have heard then a variety of TTs and TARs interspersed amongst the rest. On this time, have a go at getting even just maybe the first 2 beats. In any exam question, come on, focus. On any exam question, you'll get this at least 5 times. So there's no expectation that you'll get the whole question in one go. But after 5 playings, everyone should be getting it in this room because you're all quite good. Here we go again. 1. Pencil in your hand, ready to go. Try and write down what you hear this time. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Anyone want to take a guess? What did we get here?
Ticker.
Spot on. Ticker, ticker. And what about this one?
Tiki.
Good. Okay. I'll get some answers from other people next time. Thank you for those great answers, though. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's try again. I'm going to go from the start. And let's see if we can get a little bit more together as a class this time. 1, 2, 1, 2. What do you think? Stella, what do we have on the next 2 beats? 2, so T, T, and good. Excellent. I'm going to play it again. Listen carefully because there's actually a bit of a pattern in the last 2 bars. I'll go from the start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? Jasmine, what happened here? Good. And then Hayley. Good. Big voice there. Yeah. And I might ask for the next one. Calm. What was on the next beat?
So it's tika.
Say that a bit louder.
Tika.
Got it. Yeah. And then finally, go for it. Spot on, T. Well done. Yeah, so we had repetition here. So, ticka, ticka, T, 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 ta. Ticka, ticka, ta. Ticka, ticka, ta. Now the question is, will this get you any marks in an exam?
Probably not.
No, what do you need to put onto the page?
The notes.
The notes. Now, again, that process, what's first? Stems, beams, or note heads?
The notes.
Note heads. So, 4 note heads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then do your stems.
And then
How many beams for semiquavers?
2.
Got
two
it.
beams.
Yeah. If you leave one of the beams out, it's just 4 quavers in a row. I'll add the rest of this answer in now. We're going to sign off from the video in just a moment. That's enough for people who are away today to pick up the concept. What I will do is I'll play the second question now just once, and then people who are working from home today can then just repeat that in their YouTube viewer to get 5 playings and have a go. Okay.
You forgot the thingies.
What did I
The
forget?
second beam on the other 2.
Here?
Yeah.
It's there, just the pen was a bit faint.
Oh.
Yeah, cool. That is there. So you can't see that watching from home. There are absolutely 2 beams there. Yeah. Okay, while you're finishing writing your answer in, I'm just going to play the second question once for the recording. Then I'll stop the recording and we'll go on and do that question. I'll come around and actually give you some individual help. But for those of you who are working from home today, I'll play this question once. You can then replay it to yourself a couple more times, 3, 4, 5 more times, using the web browser you're within. Here we go. So this is the second question down. Oh, I forgot to say one thing though. We can all do this together before I record one more playing. How many beat lines will we need above each bar? What tells us that?
4.
Yeah, so the time signature at the start tells us there are 4 quarter notes or 4 crotchets per bar. So you'll need to set up 4 beat lines per bar. Cool. I'll play this question once. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're working from home, farewell for now. I hope you find this next question to be achievable, and I'll provide the answer on our on our Compass page at a later time. Bye for now.